So should we get on to the next topic?
Which is rating of game modes.
Rating of game modes, yes. Now we'll all personally rank our favorite game modes from best to worst. We'll start off with Sarius, and then we'll go to Ether.
Okay, I think the worst is Tap Battle.
I love
the
that
rhythm.
It's really fun, honestly.
I think my list would be Tap Battle, Forging Bonds, Voting Gauntlet, Arena Assault, and then I think like Ether Raids and Arena are kind of like interchangeable.
Wait, you think Ether Raids and Arena Assault? Sorry, Ether Raids and Arena are better than Arena Assault? Wait.
I say that because I don't do Arena Assault very often.
What?
Yeah, I'm lazy.
Wow, that's
We
so.
don't talk about
Wait,
it.
you rank it so highly
Come
and
on.
you don't even do it very often?
That's how bad the rest of the
I know.
game modes are.
Yeah.
Okay, that's depressing. All right.
Okay, so Ampz is going to type his. His least favorite is Tap Battle.
No, I'll say mine.
Oh wait.
I typing them so everyone
Oh okay. Here's
All right.
just skip me. Skip me.
There
Someone
are
else.
Shit.
Nim, go.
Oh, okay. Mine's pretty easy. My least favorite is Voting Gauntlet. I feel like it's just meant to piss people off. And voting for it, the funny thing is, again, if we just do a case study about this, you don't even have to do it like that. But it's very obvious at this point that the teams with the most people on them are going to lose, have a higher chance of losing. In general, the teams, the underdogs, are winning nowadays, just because of how Voting Gauntlet works. Because the team with most people will trigger their bonus first, and then if it's really bad, they'll trigger multiple bonuses on their side, and then and if the team with the most people loses, that means more people are upset about it. And even if you pretend like, oh yeah, everyone's just a feather mercenary, whatever, do you understand like that just like points out to how bad the mode is at the point of where people no longer go for who they really care about and they just go for whoever they think is going to win. Like it's gotten to the point of like pure cancer where you don't cheer for who you want, you cheer for whoever you think will get you the most resources. So I think Voting Gauntlet is the worst game mode by far. After that, I would have Tap Battles, I guess, because I still can't try for Tap Battles. I just press the button like a monkey, get the rewards. I've never been a fan of rhythm games, so I'm kind of biased there. After that, I have Ether Raids, because Ether Raids at this point is way too easy. There are no skills well, there are skills on the there are skills on the opponents, but they are super easy to do. You just auto battle it with your friends' heroes or your own heroes for that matter. It's more just for the resources, getting resources, and for auto battling for hero merit feathers, but that's really all it is. It's a really empty mode. When it first came out, it was super cool because we had an expanded map and everything, but they never went far enough with that concept, and now it's really fallen behind. They probably should put a Abyssal Ether Raids difficulty where people actually have to try instead of just all battling through it.
Nims, you're
You
saying
try-
Ether Raids, but this is a great conquest.
Whoopsies. Sorry, wait a second. Wait a second. Wait. I meant rival domains. I meant rival domains. Did I say Ether Raids?
Yeah.
Yes.
God
I think
damn,
you mean
I meant
Grand
rival
Conquest
domains.
because Grand
We're
Conquest is the
intelligent.
competitive one.
Oh my god, did we get this wrong? God.
I got super confused. Wait, I got super
Are you
confused.
talking
I think
about Grand Conquest or rival domains?
I think Ampz typed something and I read it off and I just kept writing it for but I really meant rival domains. But no, it's rival domains.
Okay.
Okay. Ether Raids is something I'll talk about later on, but that's how I view it so far. After that, I have Grand Conquest. It's just basically rival domains, but rival domains plus. Fighting other people's heroes and assortment of other people's heroes is really cool and all. The only problem is, it's just purely random. It's not like the other team has team cohesion and the AI doesn't really. Yeah, it's more of a hassle rather than fun at that point. Even though when you take it super seriously, you can probably figure it out pretty easily. So yeah, Grand Conquest is next. And here's the funny thing: I actually have Forging Bonds ranked fairly highly because I think Forging Bonds does well in terms of it's repetitive, it's kind of boring, but the story element is actually better than the story mode in the game, which is hilarious to me. If the story could be really cute, like, oh hey, we're gonna make some tea, gonna get some tea, you know, and they go through a cute adventure and people bond together. Like that's already better than story mode. That's so sad, but that's the truth. So I actually have Arena next, and then Forging Bonds. I don't think we need to explain Arena. We've already talked about Arena. I really think it's just pure cancer to get one character to get all the kills. It's so boring. It takes away limits. It limits what you can do as a player, and it just forces you into this like little hole of like, it's not even competitive anymore. It's just like who's willing to suffer the most to get into that, and who's willing to like save all their orbs or spend money to build a team worth enough points to even get you to the part of being competitive. So I don't like Arena anymore. But yeah, it's Arena, then Forging Bonds, then comes down my... Oh crap, I realized I didn't do Tempest Trials. Alright, after Arena, it's Tempest Trials. I'll put Tempest Trials slightly higher than Arena, because at least Tempest Trials you get to do what you want to do, and it's super repetitive, but you all battle through it. There's free resources, and sometimes the stories is kind of interesting. Like this current story right now is kind of interesting, because I swear to God, Grail is lying to Ike. He's like, I'm not the Grail that you knew. I'm like, aka, I'm not your father. But think about it. How the fuck does that work? Because in every other situation, you've had parents, like for genealogy, you had like what, Deirdre and Arvis? No, sorry, not Arvis. Seliph. No. Sigurd. There you go.
Yep.
They came together and they're like, oh, talking to their son and all, and that was like super cute and stuff. But like, and then this Grail's like, actually, I'm not the same father that you knew. Then why is it then all the other previous instances it was like the exact same person that they knew, right? It didn't make any sense. I'm pretty sure Grail's lying at this point.
The reason for that
is a Force Ghost.
The reason for that is because those ones were not actually the bosses. They were helping the particular protagonist of that. For example, with Seliph, Deirdre and Sigurd were supposed to be helping him for that. Whereas for this one, he's the boss.
Do you realize this then? Why is it in those cases that you get the actual parents, and in this case we don't? Like,
because
how does time traveling even work in all that stuff then? Because the chances of you getting your real parents should be minimal. But in this case, it's happened every single time since. But this time.
I guess for this one, it might be an alternative universe, but they're still technically the parents, whereas this Grail is just a manifestation of the Tempest with Grail's memories,
which makes no sense because the way he's talking doesn't seem right at all, because it's supposed to be like, oh yeah, this is a complete monster or whatever. It's like empty. It's just taking on their form, but he's talking like he's his father, and he's like, and he's talking about Ike like, oh, if you're like the son I knew, you know, you would be like this, and this Ike was exactly like that. Like, it didn't.
I mean, we haven't talked to the other bosses before, but at the same time, I would assume that while they are technically just on a shell of the actual person, they still carry their memories and personality.
Then that's completely wrong, because you see how earth-shattering it would be for, like... What was the Hector one? Berserk Hector one?
Yeah, we had one with Hector as the boss.
Yeah,
there was also a Hector support.
Okay, but do you, like, realize how insane that is, then? Like, hey... Oh, hey, this is actually like our father, like this is actually Hector of his memories and all that stuff. We're not even gonna talk about it. You know.
Wait, now I can understand Hostile Soccer now less as a boss.
Exactly. If they can actually talk and act and be that kind of character, what is going on then? I don't buy it at all. It's just a huge disconnect in this current one with this Grail. I don't buy it at all. I'm pretty sure this is the actual Grail.
Dude, he's a Force Ghost. He's just trolling them. He's pranking them.
Okay, well, I didn't...
How does Grail just come back from the dead? Man gets stabbed and murdered by Black Knight. How does he come back?
This is Fae. You think we use logic here?
They don't use logic here, and
well,
besides...
we're in the Tempest. Yeah. The Tempest creates...
Tempest is a weird place.
And besides, in the paralog itself, like, is this Ike in the paralog and this Ike in Tempest different Ikes now?
What? You know, let's just not think about the same one.
Look, there's a huge disconnect.
Last year's was really good. It was a really sweet story about, like, an overprotected dad with his murdering axe and a poor boy named Roy.
Okay, well, anyways, I'll put Tempest Trials over Arena because it has my intrigue and it takes more thinking at this point. Arena is just like going through the motion for me, anyways. Next, I have Arena Assault. No, actually, next I have. You know what? I'll have after Arena it's Forging Bonds, but after Forging Bonds, I'll have Arena Assault and Ether Raids together because those are my two favorite modes. I kind of hate Ether raids for like how monotonous it is and how much we were forced to play it all at once. But I'll give it the benefit of doubt since that's no longer the case. And Arena Assault is my favorite mode because I get to use all my heroes, or at least more of my heroes.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing because in this game you pull the damn heroes and then you do nothing with them. You kill them off. You probably make more use of them killing them off for their skills. It's super sad.
Right.
Basically, Arena Assault is the only chance I have to use them on a weekly basis. Other than that, I use them occasionally for GHB, BHBs or whatever. That's it.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's how I see it. Oh yeah, and then the legendary relay defense. If it ever comes back, we'll talk about it.
What happened to that?
For now, we don't
Relay
have to talk
defense.
about it.
It was never
They
there.
Thanos snapped that out of existence because it was that bad. But the rewards were better. It was 2 orbs and a couple thousand feathers. That was awesome.
And you
But
actually had to try. You couldn't just
Yeah.
auto battle it.
I think
Yeah.
the only problem I had was the stupid HP the characters had. If they didn't have that stupid whack
Well, that's the
HP,
point. It's supposed to be
everything else
hard.
was- I think like stats are fine, but well, it's whatever.
All right, whoever's
Jeez.
next, go ahead.
It would be Legion. Or
All right,
Ampz. You want to
so-
go Ampz?
Oh,
Ampz.
okay.
Ampz didn't talk yet, right?
No, I did not.
Do you want to
Okay.
go or do you want Legion to go?
Oh, I guess I'll go and then Legion.
Okay.
All right.
So my least favorite game mode is Voting Gauntlet for obvious reasons. Everyone already kind of covered why.
Right.
And I just find it as a tedious thing to do. I don't find it fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate getting paired with like non-friends. And I get this like level 5 unit, and then I have to make it work somehow. Next game mode I don't like is Tap Battle. I actually like rhythm games because I played Love Live for years. But the way they did their rhythm game, it's not fun at all. It's just another tedious task to do. But the rewards are nice. Next would be Forging Bonds. I don't dislike the game mode. I just find it as an easy way to use my heroes and get a free orbs and feathers. Grand Conquest I find is another tedious thing. That's the next one I would rate. I do like it though because I like how we're like kind of not restricted, but we're encouraged to use theme teams based on movement types. And I like seeing my heroes work with my friend heroes. Next
Right.
would be Arena for obvious reasons. I don't like having to use the bonus unit to kill everything, and Anna week is the worst week for me.
As it usually is for everybody.
So yeah, that's not fun. I really want to use units that like I enjoy and that I like, not units that score well and I'm forced to use. After that is Tempest Trials because it's easy to auto battle. I could kind of use anything besides one unit. One unit has to be bonus if I want to get optimal scoring. But I always like using my own units and farming HM on that. Next is Ether Raids because I do like building the defense stuff. I'm not very good at it, but it is fun and it's an aspect I like. And I like watching people like beat me or me beat people. That's something I enjoy, and I hope they do replays for Arena if they ever figure out how to do it well. And then last is obviously Arena Assault because you can use basically any hero you want that's blessed for that week.
Yeah, bless.
Yep.
Then
Right. All right. So, for me personally, I will definitely say the Voted Gauntlet is at the bottom. I love the communal aspect and seeing all the art that they make for it and all that, all the memes.
I don't
But
think
at
we
the
really get
same
much
time,
art
it's-
anymore.
I actually found that there's still a pretty decent amount for each Voting Gauntlet.
Okay.
But, in general, it hasn't exactly. Otherwise, the mode is exceptionally flawed. Inherently, at the very base level, it's already flawed. Because I don't think that any particular. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's ever been a single Voting Gauntlet that hasn't suffered from some certain issue. Even the very first one, aside from the Crom versus Ephraim fight, like when it came to the final round, it was a
just a
complete
slaughter.
and absolute slaughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was nothing that could be done when against Lucina. So at that point, like we have the power of voting, but we're also completely demolishing even the slightest bit of the minority opinion, which is just unfortunate. But at the same time, we've gotten to the point now where it is counterintuitive. The most popular loses and the second most popular wins. which might even be the least popular in certain circumstances. just on the account of how many bonuses they get. Like, it gives you some funny winners that you would never expect, but like Shauna. But at the same time, it's still nonsense that would even be the case. Like, there should be a voting for popularity. It should be a matter of popularity. Don't crush other people's dreams, but don't make it so that if a certain character is less popular, they're going to be the one that wins. It makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just That's just my little run-to on Voting Gauntlet.
Wait.
Yeah?
Don't you guys remember? Didn't Yoga win a Voting Gauntlet?
Did Ilger win a Voting Gauntlet?
Did she win the
Voting Gauntlet history?
Somebody
Plus
won a
small.
Voting Gauntlet when it was like 4 bonuses in a row. They got 4 bonuses in a row, and then they won. Like, there was a final round, they got like 4 bonuses in a row, and then they won. It was like one of the worst Voting Gauntlets I've ever seen. The other side literally just couldn't do anything. They just sat there and just watched them get bonus, and then they lost.
I kind of wish I could remember which one of those it was. I would have to look a lot back, but...
Yeah. Okay, but that was basically the one.
I have the archives, but I can't figure out which one it is. Yeah, let us know if you can remember that.
Fjorm won that one against Yogurt.
Yeah, if Fjorm did win the Ogre fight.
No, okay, then it's not Yogurt. It's somebody around that time. I remember it because I just thought like it was so funny because I was on the winning side.
Was it Azura? Like the New Year's one?
You know, okay,
Azura
I
won
think,
twice in a row, BB.
I think it might have actually been Hurrid.
Oh, was it? Wait, Reed didn't win though.
Oh, wait, he didn't?
did not
Shit.
win. It was Gunther. It was Gunther versus Azura. Azura won. And she
Yeah.
won twice in a row for the same New Year's banner.
Yes.
So good for her.
Yep.
All right, never mind. We'll find out later on. But like, it was just so funny to me. It was just like that. I already knew it was broken, but that was the most broken, like clearest example of being broken ever.
Right. Those bonuses, they are necessary to keep it at least somewhat lively rather than a complete slaughterfest, but at the same time, it just doesn't work. Because then it really just throws the entire voting system backwards. But that's my 2 cents on it. So, after that, I am tempted to put tap battles there, and I will admit, I'm going to only put tap battle there because, honestly, as an inherent game mode, I feel like it's just not exactly something that a lot of people want to invest into. Personally, I actually really enjoy it. I do not do a lot of rhythm games, so I don't exactly have a lot of bias. And playing tap battle every time, I actually quite enjoy challenging myself to get S rank on everything. I feel it to be pretty fun. But I also have to admit that even though it is a nice little diversion, it's at most a diversion, just a strange and quirky game mode that shouldn't really be there, that is just very simple grinding, very clean, like there's nothing much to it, there's no substance to it. So I have fun with it, but it's not exactly a very substance-heavy game mode that a lot of people are going to be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And if I wasn't so interested in winning, I think it would just be kind of worthless. But after that, and I'm seeing that this is becoming a bit of a trend, I would probably have to say that Rival Domains is my least favorite after that. Only because I'm not exactly a big fan. Well, I usually just go in, to be perfectly honest, and auto-battle it, because there's not much challenge to it. Even at the highest difficulty, I might have to do a couple little tweaks, but it's literally just, I throw in a bunch of my units, or I could get carried by a couple of friends, and just auto-battle and finish it off. It's just a couple of extra little bits of resources every week. Sure, you can have a little bit of fun with it by, do a theme team or something, or maybe you'll go for hero merit grinding. You do you on that, but it's not inherently a very entertaining or useful game mode outside of those resources.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I would probably... I'm just going to put relay defense here because I know there hasn't been a relay defense in a long time, but for what little there was of it, I felt like it was an interesting way to approach having a defense-based fight, but I feel like at the very highest end, it got so ridiculously stat-heavy that you were not... there was no chance. You have to play a perfect survival game, and it's hard, but it's also extremely BS for just how ridiculous these stat lines get and their HP stats and whatnot. Like, it could be better. I think that is a good way to go, but it could be better, and I hope that there is something that they do with it in the future, because it's a dead game mode.
Mm-hmm. They stopped for a reason.
Yeah, they stopped for a reason. They realized it's stupid, but they also said at the time they're going to postpone doing another one, and then they just kind of pushed it under the rug. Mm-hmm. So, good job. Great mode. After that, yeah, you probably have to be Grand Conquest. I think that they've gotten better recently because they're no longer just Alpha and Sharena and Ada going at each other, fighting on random maps, and that's the end of it. They're just kind of duking it out. There's no story build up to it, you're just duking it out. I think that's kind of cool that right now we're getting maps related to certain games, importing those maps in. You get to fight at different sections for different armies that are actually like characters from those games. The next one's going to be Tellius, so that'll be fun. But I think that's kind of cool, being able to like have a sort of interaction with other older games maps and being able to conquer different territories. But I feel like as an inherent game mode, it's still not the best. I personally can't say too much on the scoring side because I'll be perfectly honest with you, I just auto battle, but even then it is a very repetitive, you might have to tackle this same location several times just to get a good result, and then you have to go up against completely randomized teams that are either they don't synergize, they are interesting, or they're just outright BS and you're seeing like 60 HP starters thanks to stat buffs and whatnot, and you're just not able to kill them with your Grand Conquest team. Don't get me wrong, it is pretty fun. It can be pretty fun if you put yourself out there and you try using other people's units, you try using your own theme teams, and there is a little more interactiveness with it, but it is still inherently quite flawed. Just on the fact that it's not very, enthralling. But I think that's about the point where I start, that's about like the downplay on it. After that, we get into some of the ones I actually kind of like. Arena is going to be like the vote, because on the one hand, I like the rewards. I like being able to see if I can get into tier 21. I like to push the crown. On the other hand, bonus kills are a complete and utter turnoff. Like, I'm sorry. Everything is... I liked it before bonus kills. I think it was too easy. But I think that having to kill everything with the bonus unit to have a reasonable run on most weeks is just very, very annoying. Especially if I don't have a good unit to use. Huh?
Was it you or Pasta who told me it was okay, this is a good idea? Because I'm pretty sure it was one of you.
I'm pretty sure Pasta is the one that supports... I support bonus kills in moderation. I'm pretty sure he supports them in general.
Okay, well, I'm glad people are seeing the light, because when I first talked about it, people were like, no, Nims, it's not that bad. It's a challenge. It's good for us. And then, what is it, 8 weeks later? 10 weeks later? Now do you understand? Yeah.
No, I understand that it is harder. It is also just too ridiculous now. Like, I think we needed more challenge, because I think even you'll agree, Arena got too easy. Mm-hmm. It was getting to the point where nothing could happen. And you're just fighting against, like, no challenge. And even now, like, I'll bet you anything you could probably almost solo every map with your Nino as she is now and not have to worry about it.
Oh, that's actually completely true. That's not completely true because of how difficult it is sometimes.
I don't know. I mean, like, you could push over 90 attack effectively on that Nino without much effort. And at that point, there's very little that'll get in her way. Like, you might have to two-round some units, but even then, it's still very easy kills.
I would have to switch my team around for it, though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you would have to tool around your team a little bit.
Because right now, I don't have it set up for Blade Tomes. I have it set with drives and stuff.
Yeah, but that's the point. You're not going to need those drives as much if you're not rally botting. So your Nino is just going to completely wreck if you contour your team for that. Which, that part I'm understanding. You don't want it to be that easy. But that's why Arena Assault is fine having no bonus kills, because there's more units you have to use, there's more teams you have to set up. but having to kill all units in an arena with a bonus unit, no matter what their triangle is, whether it's a disadvantage or an advantage, having to kill everything with that bonus unit is far more stressful. And while, yes, you can technically make it up with a couple of bonus kills lost here and there, every one you lose is significantly hampering your chances of being able to do any better in your tier.
Right. I mean, we've already talked about everyone. I think everyone knows the problem with it, but
yeah, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. Like, I like the mode. I love going for the rank, but I have to admit that it is still very much a pain in the ass to do certain fights these days.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, I actually do quite like forging bonds. I think that if I were to look at it purely on the gameplay aspect, I'd probably put it down almost even below rival domains, because these are like training tower maps with nothing spun on them.
Right.
You put some accessories on, you fight training tower maps, you get rewards. Why is this the way that we're going with this? I don't know. But at the same time, I feel like having these support conversations to develop a nice and cute little story, get to know the characters a little bit more. The first couple were basically just sucking up to the summoner, and it wasn't really the most interesting. It was kind of fun, but it wasn't really too interesting. But some of the more recent ones, like the Norian Dusk one or the Beast Banner one, I feel like those ones are actually pretty neat. They got me interested more in the characters, and they painted a nice and pretty little story that wasn't exactly too dramatic, but it felt fun.
Right.
And purely on that aspect alone, and the fact that the rewards are really good, like you get 40 heroic grails from it, I feel like it's fun enough where I can still enjoy it. And as a result, I still think it's probably one of the best event page modes at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after that is Tempest Trials. I don't think too much needs to be said about it at this point. Cool little bit of story. Great rewards that you can get throughout it. Good seals. I like the units most of the time. I think the Tempest Trial units tend to be some of the more interesting ones to use. Even if some people don't exactly like some of them, they're mostly interesting. But it is a grind fest. Not a necessarily bad one. I mean, you can auto battle it pretty reasonably and get great rewards. But it is, again, gameplay-wise, very much lacking in any sort of real diversity. It's
certainly gotten better than the first one.
I think that the first one was so hard that you couldn't even get to 50,000. Well,
Yeah.
100,000.
I liked that because it actually meant something to clear Tempest Trials. Nowadays, it's just expected. Actually, nowadays, if you clear Tempest Trials, it's like expected that you go for at least like top 5k, top 10k, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from with that.
It's like a badge of honor.
Yeah, it is a badge of honor to complete a Tempest Trials. I agree. Although I will admit, it is very annoying when I can't even reach all the sacred seals because I physically do not have the time. Like, I actually spent a substantial amount of time grinding, and I couldn't even make it to Quick Impulse at the time. And that's the kind of stuff I find to be a little more annoying.
Okay,
because...
but the fact that we can use our coins to medals, I mean, or actually, is it coins or medals?
Coins. Sacred coins, and you can only do that after I think about a month or two between release. And actually, I think the last wave took about 3 months to come back.
Okay, but I understand what you're saying, but I liked it that way because it actually meant something to try in this game. In this game right now, nothing actually matters. Like, what thing out there do you have to try for that you can show off to someone else and like, oh wow, that's really cool. Like, we couldn't do that or something like that. There's nothing like that in this game so far.
I mean, yeah,
I
can
think
say that
LHBs are as close as it gets, but those accessories don't do anything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like those are probably the best flex, but I agree. I think that there needs to be. I think that Tempest Trials, like those days, I like it. I just think that I think it probably was around the second Tempest Trials where it was still very hard, but I felt like I can actually somehow manage to scrape at least the Sacred Seals before it ends. That's the point that I kind of like the most because then there's an incentive to keep trying.
Right.
Of course, part of the issue is it's the same 7 sets of map. Like, you have a set of maps with different units, and then you have the final map at the end. I think that having to do that over and over again is a challenge, but it also can get so repetitive that I can understand why some people wouldn't want to have that many times going through the same Tempest.
Especially
agree
when
with
they
that.
had Sutter as a character that could show
Oh yeah,
up
don't get me
and
started.
Oh
on
yeah,
the
Surtur
Wizard
ended auto
run.
battle runs.
Oh my god, he destroyed me every time he showed up. I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with this.
If you see Surtur on a Tempest run, and thank God he's not there anymore, you're doomed. You literally were probably going to lose that team unless you had a counter for him. So,
But I do like him showing up. It's like a random event. It's like punishing you for not paying attention.
exactly, like, I think that it was annoying for the fact that I'm still like an auto battle kind of grind person. I like to be able to at least get all the rewards, but at the same time, I must admit it is pretty funny where you get shut down completely by a Surtur because he's just that powerful. Like, it's literally just a little final boss intermittent between all your different Tempest fights, and it's funny. It is pretty funny to see that happen. I will admit, I kind of wish we had a little more of that kind of challenge, but at the same time, I just want to be able to actually complete the rewards within a reasonable amount of time, rather than having, like, I can't even make it halfway with a substantial amount of fighting just because I don't have the time to do that, which is what happened with the first Tempest. Like, just have it in the middle. Like, meet me between how easy it is now to get 50,000 and how hard it was back then to get 100,000, and that would probably be the most feasible.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I can really say about that. And then after that, it would be Ether raids. I like fighting against cool teams. I like seeing what they build. I like building for myself. And with more control over your defense, it's harder than a normal arena fight. That's pretty much all I can really say about it. It's fun. I like it. I think that it's a little bit too difficult. Well, it's a little bit difficult right now for me to be able to make it into tier 21, and that's fine. When these blessing bonuses start rolling around more, we'll see how much they really impact things as we start seeing the 3rd and 4th blessing get added. But as of now, I think it's pretty enjoyable. I quite like it. But then, of course, there's Arena Assault at the very top, and I think that statement's already been rehashed before. It's the most diversity. You get to use so many of your units, depending on season, and you get to go up. You get to use them in different, more challenging scenarios. And given that I collect so many units, I like being able to use them in that mode because that's where my huge collection of 5 stars gets to shine, even a little bit.
Okay, who's next?
I'm sorry for taking so long.
It would be Ether Fairy. Unless you just want to go to the second one, because I think we've covered all points here. Unless you guys have something else to add.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think we're all starting to agree on where we generally place everything.
Ether, is he here? Is he trolling us? Ether?
Ether.
I'm
Oh,
here.
no.
I was muted double. What? Okay, whatever.
Would you like to share? Do you have any new points, or do you want to go to?
I'll just go through it quickly. A lot of game modes for me is mostly about collecting the rewards, so I'm just going to rank them omitting rewards. So I have last voting gauntlet. It's really just for me getting feathers. There's not much to it, and I don't really like having to wait for bonuses because you're not always able to play the game 24/7. So if you need a bonus or something to rank well, you have to basically be always ready to play. I don't really like having to necessarily play for every 30 minutes, for example, if there's back-to-back bonuses. And then there's tap battles. Rewards are fine, but it's just a grind fest. I personally S-rank every single stage, which there's really no point to it because all you get is a pop-up message saying you S-ranked them all.
But you still do it.
Yeah, I still do it.
We still do it.
I record it all and everything.
I know, you're the biggest person here. I remember watching you do it on the highest difficulty. I was like, wow, Ether, you're a nut job.
I mean, I do it as well. I try to see if I can beat Ether out to it first, but
wow,
it's
you
just,
too. God damn.
I mean,
it's so silly, but it's fun.
And then I have Grand Conquests and Rival Domains. Again, it's just kind of the rewards, getting the feathers and such, but for me, Grand Conquests, I usually nowadays RNG into terrible teams. So the best I can do is get top 3 every battle in Grand Conquest, which is what I do. So again, it's just for the feathers. Having to do it every 8 hours or so is also kind of annoying, but it's at least better than, say, Voting Gauntlet. And then I'd have, I don't know, Forging Bonds or Tempest Trials. Both rewards are okay. Forging Bonds, at least there's some sort of story compared to the other stuff we have in the game. And
Like
Tempest
story
Trials, Tempest Trials, I get to farm hero merit, and I just get to practice speed running, clearing maps. I've been doing top 1000 Tempest Trials for so long now. It's been, I don't know how many times I've gone top 1k, but it's at least 16, 17, 18 Tempest Trials, like so many, and I do it all via manual Lunatic 7. So I'm a madman. I'm a madman. I can clear Lunatic 7 manually, usually in 2 or 2.5 minutes a run, with a hero merit farming team. I'm not even using like units with maxed out HM most of the time, so there's that for me. Again, it's just mostly for the rewards. And then it's kind of iffy between Arena Assault, Arena, and Ether Raids. I still like all the game modes, but for like Arena Assault, it's mostly if I'm trying to go for top 1k. I'm stable top 1.5k. I've not been able to get into top 1k yet. It's just annoying because of the matchmaker. No matter how many times I reroll, it's all up to the matchmaker. If I need to high roll 7 matches straight, the game might give me 6 high rolls, and then the last match is going to be like a min roll and wreck your run.
Right.
But I'll still get top 1.5k, but that's not top 1k, so.
That's why I find you so impressive, because you try so hard. For me, like, I experience the same thing. I mean, we have virtually the same teams at this point.
Yes.
Actually, not really.
Well, I've virtually same scores, but not teams.
Virtually the same score, right?
Because my ceiling's like 754 right now.
Yeah.
Wait, what are you running?
756.
I'm running Effie, Gwendolyn, Noe, and Adult Turkey.
Oh, okay. Well, I could. Okay, sure. I mean, I could switch my team too, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. Arena, I'm one of the few people who still like it because it's a challenge. I get to actually use things I know about the game, like calculating out damage for matchups, manipulating the AI and stuff. It's one of the only game modes where I actually get to use it a lot and actually have some value out of learning all this stuff. And I don't know, it's still funny for me to get units that are considered kind of bad, like Anna, to go wreck units out the window, all on their own with support from the team. I don't know, I still like it from that respect. But other than that, yeah, a lot of people, I do understand why people don't like it. If anything, they could reduce like the max number of bonus kills to like 3, and that would already be reasonable enough.
That's what I
if you go down to like 2 per match, it gets too easy for me. Like Arena was a complete joke before the update. I was just able to destroy everything with like my close counter Nino. Like it wasn't even difficult. But that's Arena. And then Ether Raids, from a competitive standpoint, I don't really like that you have to use blessings to necessarily rank up tiers. I like being able to just build defense teams and seeing how people tackle them, and I like seeing what people come up with on defense. But other than that, it's kind of one of those other game modes where I get to use my AI manipulation and damage calcs and things, and I can do funny things if people have seen what I've done. Like, I can just straight up my team. So for anyone who doesn't know, all my 5 rating teams, they use the exact same 4 units, and then the 5th unit is just some other unit to tech certain matchups. And the whole core of my strategy is use Nino.
Great strategy.
So I demolish so many teams with close counter advantage. It's almost too ridiculous. It's definitely fun. So that's what I mostly get out of Ether raids. Just having fun like that. You don't really get to do that anywhere else.
Right.
And I'm gonna skip because we have this topic has gone way too long, and we're gonna go to the next topic, which is what's everyone's opinion on the 2nd anniversary?
I'll go first. Normally I'm super down on these things because I just see it as in like, wow, they didn't do enough. But this time they threw free heroes at me. They gave me a chance at PA Azura, New Year Azura, and there was just free heroes involved, and 2 free heroes guaranteed, and then a find and vote hero, which is probably a hero that you would want, given how voting usually goes. So I'm pretty happy about it. But I mostly just feel like I've been bribed. It doesn't really come down to like them making a big change that I really appreciate. But no, I'm pretty happy with the 2nd anniversary. They brought in some minor balancing in Dragon Flowers. They changed Ether Raid, so I don't have to play every day. I like that too. And of course the IV changed, but I really don't consider that 2nd anniversary because they announced it before the 2nd anniversary. But all the same, I like it. So yeah, that's my opinion. I think it's okay. It's pretty good. I like it. 7 out of 10 is if I had to put a number on it.
I'll give it 6 again. Because not that it was bad, and I do appreciate the free stuff. I like free stuff. Free stuff is cool. But something about like, I don't know, like statistically I've been looking at like the sales, and you guys want to know something interesting? You know what the 2 least worst performing banners have been in the past 3 months?
What?
Adrift,
That's right.
Fire and Ice, which was Sutter, and Hot Springs banner.
Wait, Fire and Ice actually did poorly? Because I thought it was
okay, the Fire and Ice did poorly was because, think about this logically, right? If the rates were so good, you could go in with free-to-play orbs.
Oh yeah, get the heroes that just dead.
And like for whales, right? They didn't spit like on average. I've read from I think someone said he spent around 1,000 per +10. Now they only had to spend around 200 to 400 because that's how good the rates were. If you were lucky, you could like spend less. So it's
that's
not
so
people
funny.
Pull on the banner. It's just because the rates were so ridiculously good, you didn't spend enough.
That's so funny.
And that's how. And it's like the too good to be true deal. Getting a very great 2 sets of heroes, that were incredible. I mean, look at you, Nim. You got +6 Yogurt with only free to play.
Well, +7. Thanks.
+7.
Some people spent thousands of orbs on CYL and didn't even get a +5.
I know. So,
yeah.
And I didn't even really want Yogurt. It was for Surtur, which was +2, I believe. So.
Yeah.
Yep.
But basically, right? So the reason why I felt this way is because like the game out at this point is making people very mad. They're very mad at just like how the game works, and they wanted to find some like, if they want, like, I know they did do great things. I did love the IV update, the stat boosters, they're cool. They just need to fix a little bit on those, but it's not enough to like really win back the community. And like then they somehow managed to screw it up, and we're not talking about find and vote your heroes. Remember that? Random 5-star guy, screw you. Ha.
Wait, is it really that bad? Because I feel like it's okay.
People are very salty. I'll just say that.
Okay, wow. Okay, I didn't think so.
People are very salty. The goodwill, like, again, monkey's paw. They'll do it. They'll give you what you want, but they'll do it in the worst way possible. And like, I mean, like, there was no demos, not even like a basic GHB 3, and I'm really sad they didn't even rerun the GHB 1s.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's past now. It's not. There's no refresh.
Now. Yeah, and like, why not rerun them? They're fun. They're actually really fun. Only using Cavs on Ursula's VHB, because they're really fun to just use a different team of characters you got over the year to beat these really easy GHBs, and they're really fun. And I like them personally. I thought they were awesome. And I'm really
Yeah.
sad they didn't bring back GHB 3. That's
I
something they
think
should have
that
done.
I think that from what I remember hearing, there actually is data suggesting a GHB 3. It's just not
When-
out yet.
Oh, okay, really interesting. I didn't see that one, but I just think like not even daily arena like you know how we get like Golden Week quests and stuff. Not even an anniversary quest like defeat 20 heroes and get an orb or something. Not even that. That was really weird for me because they usually do that for big events. And like I think a really cool idea is I say like we have daily quests and we have monthly quests. Why not weekly or bi-weekly quests? Well, nice goodies and rewards for playing the game enough that you get like orbs, feathers, and stuff like that. Nothing too much, but nothing too big. You know what I mean? Still think weekly quests would be a cool idea. Get more because like dailies are just kind of useless. I'm sorry. 100 feathers, a couple crystals. What's this? Launch.
What about the one orb?
The one orb on weekends, yes.
Yep.
Also, did you guys notice for like Lunar New Year's they didn't do anything? Other gacha games
yeah.
at least gave you like one summoning ticket or something, or equivalent to
gave
one
you-
summoning.
Yeah,
They didn't
they
get
did not.
anything.
I don't understand. I mean,
especially Lunar New Year is such an important thing in a bunch of countries, and especially the
Japan, especially, which is weird.
We didn't even, yeah. They gave one for New Year's, but not Lunar New Year.
Which
I
made
mean,
no
even
sense.
Overwatch did one. Basically every company did one. Mostly, I don't.
yeah.
So it's really weird, and like.
They were
So the-
too busy celebrating,
Like,
obviously.
The reputation of Feh is very important for the reputation of Fire Emblem because, like, people are newcomers to this game and it's like, oh, this is their first interpretation of Fire Emblem. If they
Right.
and if, like they heard things about the great story, and then they see the horrible dialogue we get in story, it's like, is this the award? Is this the acclaimed dialogue in story? It's
Okay,
like,
to be
no,
fair, it was
they're not
never
gonna
really
think that.
acclaimed.
Well,
It was never
people-
this low, but it was never acclaimed.
It was never low, but it was like it passed for well. Okay.
Yeah, it was okay. Like
It was okay.
Yeah.
But, like the reputation is that like Fire Emblem's like a pretty great franchise, but now it's like it's just kind of like your generic anime weeb stuff, you know? Like a lot of-
wow. I wouldn't look at it that way, but sure, I see what you mean.
Cause like I mean like we had archetypes of certain characters, but like in the Awakening, they just kind of turned them into like the Yandere, Tsundere, the Dure, I don't know whatever.
The Dure.
The other insert other anime trope here.
Yep.
It's just like feels more anime, too anime for me. Even though my name is, let's just Ampz. Speaking of weebs, Ampz.
Amps, yeah, you're a weeb. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm a weeb.
All right.
If I had to rate the second anniversary stuff, I would probably also give it a 7 out of 10, but a little bit for different reasons. I appreciate the changes they made to Ether Raid. You don't exactly have to play every day, but they are trying to push people to play the game more by putting dragon flowers as a reward there. And that's kind of what I don't like, because for myself, I don't want to be forced to play a game mode for stuff that I could use on my characters. But I do appreciate we are getting 3 free 5 stars, and I appreciate the daily banners. I don't think people should be upset with them, because if we just did what last anniversary did, we would just get 1 free hero and 100 orbs, and you don't with those 100 orbs, you're not guaranteed a 5-star.
Mhm.
But at least here, we're getting 3 free 5 stars guaranteed, and then 44 orbs, I believe.
44.
44.
44. And I love
And
the
44
IV changes.
more.
I love the
wrap
IV
also.
changes
Yeah.
because it allows more heroes to be viable, and they kind of aren't falling out anymore, because some of those Banes would actually really hurt them. And the Dragon Flowers also allow for some balancing.
Harden is viable now, guys. He can score. Yay. Good for you,
I
Harden.
didn't change scoring, but yeah.
Wait, no, for IVs. Did it?
Oh, IVs did.
Yeah. Yeah, Sarius, you want to say anything, or do you still have noises?
Okay, I feel like a lot of the stuff that the second anniversary's been getting credit for didn't really have much to do with the second anniversary.
Yeah, it just happens to fall on the second anniversary day. I know what you mean.
Yeah,
I know. It's like if the literal second anniversary was judged for it.
because I just got kind of praised for finally having a banner that didn't have like Face Awakening alts.
Mm-hmm.
But this banner was gonna happen either way, right?
Yeah.
And then
All
like
these
the
banners
Ivy
are
stuff
pre-planned.
that was already
Oh.
planned before the second anniversary, right? That's just like my opinion on it. I think the second anniversary is getting credit for stuff that didn't have anything to do with it.
I mean, it's still a good update. I might
It's
as
still
well
free
give
stuff.
off- Yeah, I might as well give off
like-
a little bit of my opinion.
I mean, like, I'm not arguing that. Like, it's a great update and it did a lot for the game. But I think as far as like anniversary goes, there could have been a lot more behind this one,
Sauce.
especially when you compare it to last year's anniversary.
Last year's was 100 orbs and a 5-star. This one is
44.
44 orbs, 3 5-stars, and an associated banner with the voting stuff, as opposed to just one Ike. Because
Yeah, but,
last
like,
year,
I feel
last
like
year
it-
it was a 1-in-1 chance you'll get this hero. This year it's a 1-in-4 chance you'll get this one of these heroes, and then you'll still be able to summon them after.
I'm still upset about last year. I did not feel like it was like we debated this so many times, Legion. Don't bother.
I'm
Hey.
not gonna make the. I'm not
I
gonna
like
make
Ike.
this,
I think he's fun. He's a
Shut
good
up,
free-to-play
Zah.
unit.
We don't need to go into this more.
We don't talk.
Yeah.
about it.
Long story short, good unit. I can understand why you debate it. Going on. But yeah, no, my basic thought here is that, yeah, I feel like obviously some of this is not stuff that was accredited specifically to the fact that it's the anniversary. The BST update, the IV update, while fantastic, is not technically the anniversary. It's a great thing to update on. It's just not the anniversary. Visible IVs, very nice quality of life thing, and then of course you have the dragon flowers, which, while not associated with the anniversary, are still a really nice thing to have in there. I won't get too deep on the debacle of if they're really good, right? If it's in the right situation right now for flowers, but just in terms of the raw, flat-out update, I think it's really nice that we're having all these. I still like the fact that we have these banners being rerun, these Bound Hero Battle banners. They're much better this year because there were actually some really valuable units in them.
Mm-hmm.
And having 44 orbs, sure, it's not getting 50 orbs at the launch, and then you get 50 orbs throughout all the different maps that we get. But I still feel like, for the fact that we also get 2 more guaranteed 5-stars and a better pool, a larger pool selection on voting, I feel like that. I'm a little bothered that it isn't just 50, but otherwise, I feel like that is a fair compensation for it. And of course, there is the main issue of you can't choose your 5-stars. I'll just say now that if you could choose those 5-stars, there would be a lot of it's just running amok with no direction, and it might get even scarier. But just in general, I feel like, I know you might get a little angry that it's not a free summon of your choice, but it is still a free summon that could be very valuable to you, and in that regard alone, I think it is quite nice. Not to mention the fact that these seasonals are being rerun for their 3rd time in most of their cases, which in itself is fine, even if you just have to get a random one. But yeah, and I'm not gonna say too much on that because it isn't a whole lot. I think that it's probably at least a 7 out of 10. I'd honestly almost push it to an 8. I think that without a matter of choice, that's probably the only thing that really bothers me. Otherwise, I quite like it.
Okay. And was there anybody left?
I mean, I guess I'll talk a bit about it.
Oh.
Yeah, pretty much all the stuff that happened along with the anniversary update is what I personally think is a good sign from intelligence systems, because it means that they're still kind of listening to the player base. They're still implementing changes that people are requesting for. They're just not doing it for everything that we're requesting for.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, getting more stuff than we usually do is at least a gesture from IS, even though there's not much improvement going on from that respect. Personally, like, for the Find and Vote Heroes event, honestly, I don't know why they couldn't just let us choose which one of the 4 we wanted.
might be a bit too cancerous depending on the hero that they pick.
Yeah, I don't know if I want everybody choosing Sorter.
Yeah.
I know that there are people that don't like Sorter, but I don't want to see him even more than I already do.
Everyone picks
Because the problem is, like, if you compare it to Hero Rises, everyone got the same unit, and we all voted for top 1. So I can understand why this event they have it so the top 4 or the top 1 from each color gets in. So that's technically more units, but not really because it's all randomized.
Yeah, I mean they're on a banner afterwards, but yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just kind of intelligent systems doing the stuff they've been doing for the past 2 years. Nothing's really improving too much. So, I don't know. I just rate this update as average out of 10.
Average out of 10.
Sure.
It's pretty, nothing special.
Alright, so do we want to end this with saying what's our favorite and least favorite banner and why?
Okay, sure.
Sure, we'll end it off with that.
Yeah, I think that's a good one to end it off on because that's kind of positive and goes into the funny parts of the negatives. So, for me, because I am hereby biased, Fire and Ice banner. That's my favorite banner.
What banner?
Fire and Ice, baby.
Really? I thought it would be PA.
I think Nim's worst banner is either Hero Fest 2 because the first summoning was bad. Your birthday summoning?
Yeah.
Or it was just the first or second summoning for PA Azur.
Okay, here's the thing. The PA Azur banner, it's a love-hate relationship because thanks to that banner, I almost quit the game. So, I never felt so depressed or sad about any summonings in my entire life. It's not just this gacha game, but in all gacha games until it was the PA banner. That banner just literally drove me crazy. I could not believe, I'm like 500 orbs in, 550 orbs in. This is the second run. My Inigo's +4. Like what the fuck? It was just driving me insane. I still didn't get a PA Azur until the final little bit that we got her. So it was like it was so incredible, but it was just so much stress and then just drove me insane. So that I didn't like the banner. I like PA Azur, I just did not like the banner. But yeah.
Hero Fest 2 was funny to watch you stream because that one you got 2 solo cuts. I don't know.
Yes, that was also really funny. Hero Fest was also a big one that I really like, but if we're just talking about the favorite, it has to be the Fire and Ice, and it's just because like I've never felt like the game, like I've never felt so lucky before, and I obviously love Yogurt, cute lolly, cute killer lolly. That's kind of my thing, and then Surtur. I still think Surtur is one of the best villains that this game could possibly get, because they don't develop villains for shit, and Surtur is already like there's nothing to develop. He's just this badass who's out there to conquer everything. Like very simple, very clean. Probably one of the best villains you could possibly have for this game. So, yeah. With all that said, that's the way I view it. My least favorite banner, I struggle to say I have a least favorite banner because as bad as this Drift banner was, I thought it was hilarious. It just showed how out of touch IS was with everybody, and obviously I didn't pull on it. But I was ultimately really indifferent about it because I just found it humorous. Like I didn't actually hate it. The banner that
it was so bad it was good.
Yes, funny. In a way it was so bad it was good. The banner that I might actually hate and I would wish would never existed. Actually, no, I can't say that. You know what? I was gonna say the first Thracia banner with Reinhardt.
Yeah, that one.
But the problem is Owen's on it.
That was my least favorite banner too, because as I really like Thracia. It's my favorite game. I'm just astounded that they somehow made Reinhardt the more important character.
I know
the main character. And
people don't even know Owen's part of the main characters. Like she's on the good side.
Yeah, and like also, you know what also really ticked me off?
What?
On this update? Niles got the same thing as Lightbrand, but it's infinitely better because it has Flashing Blade and Killer and Slaying. It's just so much better. And Lightbrand's over here, it's like +3 defense. It's like,
yeah.
How the hell do you turn a perf weapon and give it to other people? It's like, huh? It's like, and yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But you know what? I'll just say it's that the Thracia banner because I just felt like that banner was handled so poorly. Somehow they made somehow they made Owen this, and she was 5-star locked too. Do you understand like how bad that was? People who actually played 3 shows like, oh wow, Owen's here, and then they're so excited they go get her, and then oh wow, Owen's bad in comparison to Reinhardt, and that's how the community treated her. I still don't think she's bad. Like I've used her ever since that banner, but
I would love to pull her because I
Right.
just want her.
But-
And what?
yeah,
How they dirtied Finn in that banner? He's like one of the best characters in the game. He didn't even get a spot in the banner. He was
Right.
relegated to a TT unit.
right.
How?
I
They
just
gave Reinhardt it.
they
And, like they didn't add any new characters, and like those alts are so lazy. They're
exactly.
literally models, and like, and Reinhardt doesn't even carry that sword. That sword's actually worse than a Brave sword. But it's like, no, just double twice. Why not?
What?
But yeah, with all that
He
said,
actually has that sword, by the way.
he does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's worse. It's
Yeah,
worse.
it is worse than the Dire Thunder.
But yeah, with all that said, I think that's my least favorite banner because they handled it incorrectly. I didn't like how Owen got shafted. I didn't like how Reinhardt was a demote either. Like, if you wanted to make him this way, why did you make him, why did you demote him and did not demote Owen? It didn't get the perspective like who's the important character was. Most people who came out of that banner and came out of like getting Reinhardt, they think he's like, oh yeah, he's this great character. No, he's not. Anyways, like in terms of lore, in terms of like how they handle stats. Well, no, Reinhardt was super good in that game too, but I just didn't like how they handle it. So that's my least favorite banner, and yeah, Fire Knight's favorite, and original Thracia banner my least favorite.
All right, Zago.
My favorite banner was it's a tie between the Legendary Lyn banner and the Hero Fest 2 banner. Hero Fest 2 was my first banner.
Wait, Lyn?
Oh no, not because Lyn was a good unit, just because I got like 9 5-stars and 50 ores because I kept YOLOing around the orbs, and I
Okay.
just managed to get really lucky. On that one, I got Legendary F-Frame, 2 Jennies, and I think, was it Fallen Celica? Fallen Celica used to stalk me for a while. I got like, mine is +5 now.
Do you lock your doors
Actually,
when you go to
it was
sleep?
Fallen Celicas, and that's, I forgot. I also got a Legendary Lyn. I killed off for speed tactic. Hero Fest 2 was because that was my first banner, and I was really lucky. I already told you what I got on that one.
All right.
Let's go to the Legion. I know what his is. It's murder.
No, I'm not even gonna. I'm not gonna put that on here because honestly, I don't even want to think about Halloween Myrrh right now. So my Halloween Myrrh, for reference, is the equivalent of Nim's Pie Azura. The problem is that my saga hasn't ended yet. I'm still 500 orbs down with no Halloween Myrrh. So I'm just not gonna think about that. Instead, I'm just gonna say that my favorite banner is either Love of Bounds, which was, I thought that Love of Bounds Hector was really cool, and I thought that the dynamics were really nice. But most importantly, I got 9 5-stars in about 200 orbs or something like that. Very, very good rates for my luck. And then, other than that, I think that just in terms of what it introduced, I really did like the Fallen Heroes banner because I love being able to control antagonists. It's something that you don't get to do as often in the normal Fire Emblem games, and it adds a new spin that you don't normally get to see. And I thought that even though it was a step forward in the armor power creep for mostly Grima, I thought that it was really cool for the units it introduced, like Fallen Takumi, like Harden, and even in just terms of what the character is, Grima himself, very cool units in general. But if I had to put my least favorite banner,
Not a very cool character.
I'm not gonna go into that. That's a whole debacle on awakening writing and whatnot. But in terms of my least favorite banner, I admit I'm being a bit of a cop out here, saying that Adrift is definitely my least favorite, and that's not just because of the fact that it's all alt. I think it's mostly just because of the fact that, first of all, this is pushing out 2 more infantry dragons that are on the equivalent of an armor. I know that Gen 2 BST trainee technically reaches this threshold, but putting the 2 Corins as this first, not exactly what I would have preferred. Having Corin as a bonus unit to go up against an arena was absolute cancer. The fact that Camilla herself is a red mage flyer that was almost immediately competing with Aversa, and was just a very forgettable alternate to get. The fact that it completely mistreated the concept of Revelations characters having anything to do with Revelations, and instead just being a bunch of alternates surrounding Azura. The fact that Makoto came in as an alternate. The fact that it was almost immediately followed up by Fire and Ice, which is a far superior banner, rate-wise and unit-wise. I just felt like everything about it was just jarring for players who wanted to be able to pull on a banner. It made November look like an absolute hellhole. The meta was was facing some serious buffs because of that, some seriously powerful skills. And just overall, I felt like it wasn't really an environment I like to be a participant in.
Fun fact, it was so bad, it dropped the monthly revenue 33%. That's how bad
Exactly. It was like Fire and Ice, fantastic banner for rates, powerful units, even if Surtur is meta, he defines meta.
Yep.
But
More than CYO did.
more than anything has.
Yep.
But at the same time, Adrift was just freaking awful. And it really set off so many people the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't until Christmas that we started seeing a little bit of hope by having it not be Fates-based.
But armor.
I mean, but armor, but still, it was a bit of a
And
breath
then
of fresh air
Legendary
for a lot of
Azura
people.
came out, and oh boy.
And then it went right back down. I argued she was on Adrift. I don't argue in favor of it, but she was just there because of it.
Yeah, they had to get her in there somewhere.
It really
Yeah.
feels like IS was like completely out of touch. Well, I still think they're completely out of touch. The thing is, people are always gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, IS, it takes them months to plan out and make a banner. And then they keep, every single time they mess up, they're like, it takes them months. Well, here's the fun fact. It's been months and they still make these mistakes. Like,
yeah, I mean, to be fair, voting in the fact that certain Fates banners have good revenue. There's statistically a sense that they're doing something right. Mila won. But at the same time, there is a lot wrong, and it's mostly in the fact that they keep pushing out alternates. Fates is not an inherently bad game to choose as a banner, but when you keep putting out the same units, eventually, even though people like those units in a popularity poll, they're gonna get sick of it. Unless
also
they're a
really-
super fan.
It's
Okay.
also really sad that if you believe that they planned this out, they didn't think of Binding Blade for almost 2 years.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's sad. That's sad. It's like
I mean, Binding Blade got a
Roy,
lot
the
of.
character from Smash Brothers, which is pretty popular, but no one's played his base game because they don't release it. And
They put a lot of Binding Blade out at release, but then they just didn't follow up on it, like Shadows of Valencia.
Oh, poor SLV. I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
hold on. One thing I will say about like the whole Fates thing, people were so pissed off about Adrift Camilla and the Hot Spring Camilla, but she won Choose Your Legends.
Exactly, because we're encouraging IS to do these things at the same time.
I feel like IS was right ultimately. They proved that they weren't being crazy and they were just following whatever the data told them.
Uh-huh.
Because their data told them, hey, people love Fates and Awakening. Actually, their data at this point is just telling them people love Fates, period. And then they just followed up on it. So they weren't really just like trying to screw with people. Like they were doing what they legitimately believe was the best thing for the company. So
Uh-huh.
at least it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just unfortunately there are...
Also, we all know
Yeah.
Edelgard is going to either get alt spam to death if Three Houses does really well.
We'll see where Three Houses goes when that comes
I'm pretty
out.
sure Three Houses
I'm
It's
with
not
it.
coming
and this
out
game will be
fall.
much more tied together.
I think that... Well, obviously Faye is going to have a huge... It's going to be like Shadows of Valencia, but probably even stronger. But I'm
Shadows
not
of
gonna-
Valencia, I feel like was executed so poorly, but I feel like they'll
They got four.
just...
They got 4 banners out at the time of its release.
I know. I still don't think that was good enough because they didn't really like develop it. Like, oh hey, tease you of the story of Shadow of Valencia and get people interested
Well,
to buy the
Shadow of
game.
Valencia is, to be fair, an old game. Sure, no one played it.
Sure, but it was remade. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, even then the sales didn't exactly hold up very well, which might have to do with why they didn't put out as many units for it, even if there were a couple select characters that were kind of popular.
Okay, but Three Houses, I fully believe in. I fully believe that game's gonna do well.
It's
I-
a new
it-
game.
I
They
think
have nothing to
I
go
think
off.
it'll do well
Yep.
if they don't release it at the estimated time they gave us, which is spring. I don't.
I don't know.
Wait,
I don't know.
Isn't
I'm
it
not
coming
entirely
soon?
sure. Yeah, it's coming soon.
Yeah.
I don't know about A game being delayed is not inherently a bad thing, but it's also not inherently a good thing. And
Yeah.
I'm
I mean,
not
like-
exactly
like-
sure if delaying
the
it
whole
would be
thing about, like,
necessary.
A game taking years is good. Looks at Kingdom Hearts 3. Not a
Yeah.
very good game.
Oh, well,
Exactly.
we could go on this topic all day.
Yeah, we could do
That's a
another
debacle
time.
all on its own. We'll talk about later.
13 years, baby. 13 years.
Yeah, and we don't even know how
So-
long this one's developed, but go on.
Let's
who else goes
move on
next?
to Sarius.
I think my least favorite banner is still gonna be the first Ira banner, because I still feel like that's just when everything started going down.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the Ira Gate. I won't argue.
Yeah. And then I think my favorite banner was probably Generals of Muspel.
That
Generals of
one's pretty
Muspel, really? That's an interesting one.
Okay, Leviathan is my favorite unit in the game.
Why? Because she's hot?
I just
she's
okay. I have a
twin-tails?
thing for twin tails.
Because
Okay?
she's tan?
And like darts. Yeah, and like
there
darts
you go.
and-
I knew it. You basic boy.
Simple
Wham.
Okay, I'm dating a brown girl.
That
What do you want
Avrora
from me?
Okay.
No offense, Andy.
Well, it's good reason. Fine. Alright.
Okay, but I will say twin tails do not work on real girl.
What?
Did not work
It
out.
hella works.
No, it does not.
Show me an example.
Okay, you just haven't seen the right people, but
You
we
just
can go
haven't
on
seen the
that
right
all day
people.
too.
Yeah, let's not get into that.
We're not talking.
Ether, take it away.
Alright, I don't exactly care too much about banners, so I'm just gonna talk about my best and worst banners based on rates.
Sure.
So I guess I'll start with the worst rates. So there was the rerun of the Hector and Matthew Bound Hero Battle banner. And so I was hunting for Distant Counter at the time, so that's probably one of the better value banners to go for it, right? So I go in with, I believe, slightly over 300 orbs, expecting I'm going to get a Hector, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 254 orbs in, I still have a pity rate, and I get pity broken by Horse Crom, and I'm like, oof. So then I was like, okay, I'm in here already, so I'm just gonna burn the rest of my orbs, and 42 orbs later, I get a Hector. But then if you look at the average rates for the banner, it's like, I believe it's 120 or something for one Hector. Took me 296 orbs or so to get one.
You should
So-
got Nims to summon for you. Hector just loves following Nim.
What? What are you talking about? I haven't gotten legendary Hector. I've tried.
No,
Basic
no, not
Hector though.
Lecter. Base Hector.
Base Hector
Yeah,
loves
the
me.
follow-
Yeah.
original Hector. And then my best one is probably from the December 2018 legendary banner with legendary Azura. I
Mhm.
dumped like 960 orbs on that, and I got 19 5 stars, which is definitely a really good rate considering the average is about 60 orbs. I can't remember the numbers, but on average I got a 5-star about every 50 orbs.
That's what
Not
you get for
bad.
being on stream. You get lucky.
Yeah.
And I got plenty of fodder and
luck.
stuff, so I even got Gwendolyn from like +1 to +10 by the end of that
Dude,
banner.
nice.
Nice.
So I got a big boost from that banner.
Yeah.
Alright, I guess I'll finish this.
Okay.
Don't tell me it's a Hot Springs banner.
This
My
guy,
favorite-
he's gonna pick Elise. I know it.
My favorite banner was Noriad Summer because it was Elise's first ult.
Oh, I knew it.
I knew it. Disgusting.
My least favorite banner, I have two answers. One's my joke answer. My least favorite was Hostile Hot Springs because
You didn't get
it
a
released another ult and I was scared I wasn't gonna get her. I had to
were.
spend again. Luckily, that wasn't the case. I got her for free. But my official least favorite banner, I have to agree with Nims, is World of Thracia because I really wanted Olwen and Nana.
Wait,
Well,
what
I
was
kept
Thrasia's
getting-
second one?
World of Thracia was the Sword
There's a one
Reinhardt,
with Sword Reinhardt.
Leaf, Green Tome Owen, and Nana. I really wanted
Yeah.
Owen and Nana. I kept getting red and blue orbs. And as a result, after that banner, and after I was out, I had a +3 Sword Heart.
Yeah, I hate Sword Art because he has no fodder. No fodder at all. I can't. I'm gonna kill him off for Death Blow 3? No.
He is
I
currently
killed
in
mine
my
for
barracks.
damage.
He's still in my barracks right now. He is sitting at +5.
Dude,
What?
dude, I just wanted a lean on the Marth banner so I can kill her off. And I kept getting Sword Heart, and it made me sad.
But yeah, that would be my worst
Sword
banner.
Heart's
because he
literally,
still
I
haunts
think, my
me.
least favorite 5-star in the Red Pool. He has no fodder.
Luke.
Except for Braveheart. That guy sucks.
Just do what I did, though. It's all okay.
He's a
Also-
fantastic unit, but Luke has awful fodder.
Also, respects to Brave Roy. His father outclassed him again.
Yep.
Anyways,
All
are we
right, then.
done? Is there anything else to talk about?
All right then. If somebody
all set.
actually made it to the end of this podcast, please say
God.
"Kappa me baby" in the comments below. This way we can see if anybody actually watched this thing.
If we get
hopefully
enough
they
thumbs
do.
up, we'll ban Zaw.
Yes,
Oh,
that too.
yeah, also put ban
Yes.
Zaw. We need this to be a national movement.
Why would you want a national movement to ban you?
We're gonna ban you anyways, don't worry.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude,
It'll
I should
happen.
become a there's gonna be a day where I become mod. The first thing I'm gonna
Okay,
do
no,
is
end the podcast now. We're done.
Yeah,
End the
Yeah.
podcast now.
Yeah,
Podcast over.
they don't need to hear us say this. Okay.
Until next time.
On
Until
the
next
next
time.
episode of Dragon Ball
Have a
Z.
nice night, day.
It's
or
been
whatever.
Legion.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.